Hi there, Space Kittens. This is your intersectional astrologer, Bear River, coming at you with a new moon video. This video is for the Sagittarius New Moon, exact on Thursday, December the 6th at 11:20 p.m. This new moon will be at 15 degrees of Sagittarius and quite close in the sky to Jupiter, making this an especially auspicious new moon. For those of you who use the new moon as an opportunity for sowing or setting new moon intentions, this will be a phenomenal opportunity to set the intention for growth, expansion, any higher educational endeavors, or any initiative in your life where you'd like to experience a higher perspective, have more faith, belief, optimism, or inspiration. There are a few other planets I'd like to talk about with respect to this new moon. The first two of which will probably be quite obvious to you if you've been following the astro weather. Both Venus and Mercury have been in the midst of their retrograde phases. When I say retrograde, I'm talking not just about the moment where the planet appears to be moving backwards in the sky, but also the time when the planet moves first forward and then backwards through its shadow zone. Currently, Venus is moving direct through her shadow zone in the early degrees of Scorpio, while Mercury is stationing at 27 degrees. If you've been following your ephemeris, you'll know that Mercury was at 27 degrees of Scorpio yesterday, and will also be at 27 degrees of Scorpio tomorrow, giving us an unusual opportunity to calm our minds, still our focus, and penetrate deeply into our unconscious thought patterns. This, of course, provides an extra opportunity and an extra blessing during this Sagittarius new moon time, affording us with the opportunity to use our clear insights to direct ourselves with even more purpose into the future. The other planetary dynamic that I want to speak to you about is the conjunction of Neptune and Mercury in the sky. Now, from our vantage point here on Earth, if we could see Neptune, we would see, when we look up in the evening sky, Mercury and Neptune quite close together. Mars and Neptune quite close together. Mars is the planet that has to do with our drive, with our projective energies, anything where we recognize what it is we want and then we make the move to go get it. Mars is the planet that governs the moves we make to get the things we want. With Mars and Neptune together in the sky, in fact just a couple of minutes away from that perfect conjunction aspect, we can expect this Sagittarius new moon to be colored with intense emotional affect. Mars can represent passion as well as it can represent anger, and with Neptune we can expect there to be a diffuse quality to this energy. Neptune's function is to dissolve and to merge back into oneness, whereas the function of Mars is to defend, project, and to go get. It's very much about asserting our boundaries and getting the things that we need. So with Mars and Neptune together in the sky at the same time as the Sagittarius new moon, we have an opportunity as well as a warning that we need to heed. The opportunity is the opportunity to dive deeply into our passions. If you're a creative, if you were a healer, this is a fantastic time to be proactive about your spiritual engagement in the world, to be proactive in your meditation practice, in your yoga practice. This is an opportunity to infuse those endeavors with a lot of energy, and a lot of energy that comes from within. Alternatively, if we are in a process of rejecting aspects of ourselves, then we often will experience them projected out into the world, which means this new moon time, for those of us who are feeling reluctant to fully embrace ourselves, we may find that a confusing sort of anger that comes from nowhere and can't be placated arises at us or is projected at us from the outside world. If we find that this is happening and we have our consciousness ninja skills on, then we can take that as an opportunity to look within and find out what is it inside myself that I am rejecting, such that I'm experiencing it in the outside world. But back to this Sagittarius new moon. This particularly auspicious new moon, I think, will be the best opportunity for setting intentions for the year of 2019. By December 31st, when many of us celebrate New Year's Eve and the coming New Year, Mars will be moving into Aries, meaning that whatever intentions we've sown, whether we did so consciously or not, will be just bang off to the races. And so you can take this opportunity this week to work with that Sun in Sagittarius, Moon in Sagittarius, together with Jupiter, and work with a bit of that symbolism. So let's dive in a little bit more deeply. Signs always represent strategies. You could also think about a sign as the aesthetic. I like to use the metaphor of the stage a lot when I describe astrology, and I always think of the sign as being the gels that color the lights. The same stage, the same actor, even the same exact dialogue or monologue, presented under different lights, feels different, evokes something different within us, and oftentimes even means something different. So we could think about a dark, deep red and the foreboding of violence that we might expect with Scorpio or Aries energy, depending on the play we're talking about here, versus a bright golden light or soft pink light that might indicate some Libra sociability is about to take place. So thinking about the signs as strategies and aesthetic. We can then think about the planets as functions or as roles, or of course as actors playing those roles. So if we have a red gel shining down on Mars, whose function is to defend and protect and assert and project its energy outward, then we might expect a rather dynamic and potentially violent scene to unfold in front of us. Now if we take Mars underneath this red light and put Mars, it's working with a simple one here, onto a stage that's a battlefield, then we've got a pretty clear case. And that battlefield might be represented by the 7th house or the 8th house. That's just a quick example, just to give you a sense of a bit of the language that I intend to use when I bring these videos to you. So this Sagittarius new moon, we've got both the moon and the sun, whose functions, sun-wise, is to illuminate, and moon-wise is to reflect. We can think about what we actually see in the sky and just turn those observations into metaphors. The sun is currently illuminating my face and warming me, whereas the moon is currently invisible. The moon is invisible because she is so close together with the sun that she's not reflecting its light back to us. So the moon in the sky reflects the light, the sun in the sky shines the light, or illuminates or shines a spotlight, which means that we can expect a spotlight to be shown and for ourselves to inwardly be more keen on reflecting upon the strategy of Sagittarius. Now, Sagittarius is symbolized by a centaur archer, which is a fun one to picture. And whenever I think about the centaur and the archer, I think about a human intellect, particularly the free will and decision-making aspects of the human mind, attached to the infinite stamina, or the seemingly infinite stamina of a horse. What does a horse do? It runs towards the horizon. What does an archer do? It aims for a target. And so when we put together these symbols that we see with the sign of Sagittarius, and we combine it with the functions of the sun and the moon, this new moon is very much a time for illuminating our desires for expansion, for getting to the horizon, for where we want to travel both literally and figuratively, particularly if those travels entail pursuits of the mind. Sagittarius is associated with philosophy, with higher education, with law and morality in other ways, and that has a lot to do with Jupiter. So this new moon, we have the sun and the moon at 15 degrees of Sagittarius, not quite conjunct, but very close in the sky to Jupiter. And what this means is that the planet of luck, the planet of expansion, the greater benefic, that is the most beneficial planet, our ally in the sky, is so close with the sun and the moon that the things that we are illuminating with our thought process and the things upon which we are reflecting are granted a little golden touch of Jupiter benefits. Benefit. So this new moon is a time to really trust and have faith in the things that inspire you, the things that you feel hopeful about, those pursuits or goals or endeavors that inspire you with enthusiasm and optimism. These words, these feelings, these tones, these strategies of choosing to believe that good will come if you continue to put good out in the world are especially granted access. So this new moon in Sagittarius, together with Jupiter, is especially lucky. When Jupiter touches a planet in the sky, whether that aspect or that contact is a conjunction, which is 0 to a few degrees, whether that aspect is a square, 90 degrees in tension, whether that aspect is very much like the sun and the moon in opposition, reflecting one another, shining the light on one another, or any other aspect, Jupiter tends to inflate, expand, and inspire with optimism and enthusiasm, whatever it touches. This can be fantastic, particularly in the case of the sun and the moon. It indicates that our feelings, our consciousness are very high at the moment. Our spirits are high. It also indicates that the things that we think about, the things that we're reflecting upon, are likely to bring good to us. Whereas we might expect a contact with Saturn to bring seriousness and a sober type of somber attitude, Jupiter does just the opposite. Jupiter is the planet that says, let's go out to dinner, let's celebrate. So I ask you, dear space kittens, what are you celebrating? What opportunity, what endeavor are you most excited about? Where can you celebrate your successes for 2018, and what successes for 2019 can you anticipate and look forward to? This new moon tomorrow, Thursday, is a fantastic opportunity to set some intentions for those goals you'd like to accomplish in the coming year, and also to reflect upon the successes that you've already encountered. Of course, the house in which this new moon falls in your chart is going to say a lot about the specific ways in which you can harness the beneficial energy of this new moon in Sagittarius. If you'd like help looking at your chart to find out how you can best take advantage of this new moon cycle, you can use the link down below and contact me for a private consultation. As soon to be always, since this is a first new moon video, I want to take the opportunity to thank you very much for your time, for watching this video, for liking and subscribing wherever that button may be, for sharing this with anyone you think may benefit from hearing these words, and for all of your support. Much love and many blessings to you on your path.